I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. Okay. Pull up my notes. Get this show started, y'all. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, what we got? What we got? All right, y'all. Let's get the show started. I seen y'all tuned in, tapped in already. Y'all already know what time it is. Get this other thing working. Sorry about that, y'all. Get this thing working. All right, y'all. Y'all already know what time it is. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild, and I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Again, a quick apologies for last night. Had some unforeseen family things that happened up, some family emergencies, so I had to take care of that, and it pained me from chopping it up with y'all, having that great episode each and every week. So we're doing tonight's episode, well, yesterday's episode tonight. So I want to thank y'all again for tuning and tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show, and I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping into episode 234. That's a lot of episodes, y'all. 234 episodes. That's a lot. So again, I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Shout out to the chat. The chat is in here early and showing major love. So shout out to the chat, cross-platforming. And again, shout out to y'all both on YouTube and Instagram. So again, I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in, man. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. And we talk about everything here. We talk about sports. We talk about entertainment. We talk about social commentary, things that's happening in the news, the bigger conversation, and we have a good time doing it. So again, shout out to y'all. Again, shout out to the chat, man. Chat in here. I'm not gonna say every single person in the chat, but shout out to King P in the building, one of our day ones, one of our big badge holders. What up, everybody? Hope Ashley is good. No show last night. That's a fact. Again, I apologize. I had a family emergency that was unforeseen, and the situation turned out to be better than what it looks. So again, I want to thank y'all for rocking with your boy. Shout out to Winter, loyal crew. We in the building. Appreciate that. Shout out to Tremont. Your Coach Pecco left Colorado for NFL job. Really? Wow, that's crazy. Uh, that's crazy. Damn. No respect to the college coach contracts. Like NFL money must be completely different. Shout out to Shay in the building. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. Shout out to Culture for tuning and tapping in, my dude. Shout out to Rowan Jack, again, one of our day ones, one of our big badge holders, and one of our mods. So make sure y'all talk to me nice, because Rowan Jack ain't playing no games. He gonna hold it down. Make sure y'all keep it cool. What's good? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? Was great. Too much Grey Goose. Nah, I didn't. I told you I don't drink. You know what I'm saying? I don't drink just all alkaline water. That's all I drink. You know what I mean? Just alkaline water. But yeah, I had a family emergency last night, and again, it was unforeseen, and it needed immediate attention. So thank God it wasn't as bad as what it looked like. So again, I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in, man. Y'all major love, and I want to thank y'all again. Let's get the show started. You already know. Do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. Do not try to stand out for being negative. Have the ability to be positive and stand out. So again, do not be a stain. Again, this is the only op we recognize over here is opportunity. Hate has a location. It's just not here. We celebrate life culture here, and there's a major love over here. We have the real conversation. All right, y'all. First segment of the night, popular opinions. This segment is brought to you by OUV Records, as you see it right there. Make sure you go to Instagram at OUV Records, and make sure you stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. Also, the new OUV Records app is coming out where you get music directly from the artist. So make sure y'all tune and tap in. It's a better listening. It's a better listening experience and a better visual. So make sure y'all tune and tap in. Need that alkaline early. You know what I'm saying? Like the Tin Man. You know what I'm saying? I need my oil early. You know what I'm saying? So again, make sure y'all tune in, tap into the OUV Records app. All right, y'all. First segment of the night. Y'all already know popular opinions. These are not my questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions. All right. First question of the night. Worst food by state. Worst food by state. Number one, Utah. Number two, Indiana. Number three, Delaware. Number four, Connecticut. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, worst food by state. What the hell? Number one, Utah. Number two, Indiana. Number three, Delaware. Number four, Connecticut. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. I've been to, I'll say 3 out of 4 of these places. I've been to, obviously, Delaware. I've been to Connecticut. I'm from Brooklyn, so I've been to Delaware, Connecticut, and I've been to Utah. I've never been to Indiana. Based on my information and research, Indiana is, the history of Indiana is not too loving, cultured people. But, you know, Indiana is still one of the places where you just gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Just to get the experience, I guess. But those are still the type of places that have sundown towns. If you know, you know. So I've never experienced Indiana culture. So me personally, I've been to, like I said, Utah. I've been to Delaware, and I've been to Connecticut. And the best food that I've tasted out of those three was in Utah. Out of those three right there was Utah. I Connecticut. I'm gonna go with Utah. Utah food was a little bit better than the rest of these on this list. Then I say Connecticut is a close second. Delaware. Delaware. I've only been to Roy Rogers. It's not like I've been to restaurants in Delaware like that. But I've been to Roy Rogers as a kid. You know, when you go from Brooklyn to DC, I make that little quick stop at the, at the stop of Majig. You get your food, right? So I've been to, I've had a couple of Roy Rogers in Delaware, but I'm gonna say the best food is Utah, but the worst, since I've never been there. Well, I can't say Indiana because I've never been there, but just out of all three, I'm gonna say Delaware. Then I'm gonna say, because Utah was better, Connecticut was second, and Delaware, I guess me actually being in Delaware, I'll say, all right, so I'll go with Delaware on that. I'll go with Delaware. In the chat, they said Utah Valley, Utah, they watered down the whiskey. Ash might not hate, but I am having a spit running the train. Chalk. Oh my God. I can't even say the whole thing out loud. Like, Roy Jack. I thought we were picking the worst. We all picking the worst. I just said, that's how I did my process. So we definitely picking the worst. That's just how I did my process. So again, out of all these places are bad, but you know what I'm saying? Again, Utah was better than the rest of them. Second was Connecticut, and like I said, I've been to Delaware, so Delaware is the worst. All these are pretty bad though. I'm not gonna say, like, Utah is not Las Vegas. I don't know if y'all been to Las Vegas before, but the experience is not the same. But their food still be hitting. Like, Las Vegas food, they know how to chef it up in Vegas. And for those who know, Vegas and Utah is really not that far away. So anyway, so again, I'm going with Delaware on this list. I'm going to Delaware. Shay, I've been to Utah. Both Delaware. I've been to Utah and Delaware, and they're neck and neck. Horrible. Okay. See, so you did throw Delaware in there as well. So, all right, y'all. So again, I went with Delaware. The chat is going with the mix of Utah and Delaware. I'm seeing a lot of Utahs in there, which is surprising. The rest of the world, at 53%, mind y'all, over 69,000 people voted on this. They went with Delaware, y'all. They went with Delaware again at 53%. Again, I'm not surprised, and I went with based on my process of elimination. I know quite a few people that live in Delaware. I know quite a few people, and it's kind of, now that I think about it, It's nothing but married couples that I know that live in Delaware for real. I know literally 5 or 6 married couples that live in Delaware, and none of them ever have anything nice to say about the food. What's crazy, I'm like, yo, why do y'all live in Delaware? But it's really because of their jobs. You know, they have great careers there. They pay them a lot. They have, cheaper housing. And so that's the reason why you have people that live in Delaware, which is crazy. And they live like in the Wilmington area too. So yeah, so people are taking advantage of those of that area. So that's why they live there, because the food is trash. It can't be there for the food. Delaware used to be just for tax write-offs. Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, y'all, if certain state jobs in Delaware pays you crazy loot in Delaware. And then, like I said, you get to take advantage because of the housing market there. You don't have many people who's like jumping out the woodworks to, live in Delaware. So the people that they have in Delaware, they trying to keep. They like, yo, you get all this right here. You know what I'm saying? All that. You know what I'm saying? 400. All that for 400 for 400. You get all of it. So that, so yeah, people do take advantage of Delaware. All right, y'all, moving on to our next popular opinion. Best music trio on this list. Best music trio on this list. Number 1, Nirvana. Number 2, The Police. That sounds crazy, right? Most people think like the Police. No, there's actually a group called The Police, if y'all don't know, some who don't know, and it's actually a legendary group. Number 3, Run DMC. Number 4, the Bee Gees. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to both of them cross-platform and on Instagram and YouTube. So shout out to y'all showing major love in the chat. Make sure y'all hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Also tap into the membership portion of the page. Take advantage of the membership. We got quite a few people in the chat with memberships. Become a badge holder and take advantage of it. It's quite fire and fun. So make sure y'all tap in. All right, y'all. Again, best music trio on this list. Again, number 1 was Nirvana. Number 2, The Police. Number 3, Run DMC. Number 4, the Bee Gees. If you don't know who Nirvana is, that's Kurt Cobain, Chris Novoselic, and Dave Goff. So make sure, So that's the Nirvana group. So y'all know who Nirvana is. Shout out to Rowan Jack. My dog Rowan Jack had his memberships for 17 months. That's almost 2 years straight, y'all. That's crazy love right there, Rowan Jack. I appreciate that immensely. Our biggest contributor to the podcast. And again, without your contribution, the show wouldn't be where it's at today. So I appreciate you 1,000 times, genuinely from the heart. Thank you. Gold member, the whole 9. And like I said, he's had his membership for 17 months. That's what's up, brother. All my super chats identifies as tips, so they are tax-free now. That's love, you know what I'm saying? That's love. That's tax-free, you know what I'm saying? Tax-free love, you know what I mean? So I definitely appreciate that, Rowan Jack, for real. Shout out to y'all again in the chat, showing major love. So again, it helps with the growth of the show. And shout out to Rowan Jack. All right, y'all. So again, best trio on this list. Number 1 was Nirvana. Number 2 was The Police. Number 3 was Run DMC. Number 4 was the Bee Gees. All these groups are legendary. There's no wrong answer with any of these groups. I'm not gonna lie. Out of all these groups, at any point in time, I could throw on the Bee Gees at any point in time. So for me, it's going to be the Bee Gees. The Bee Gees, all these groups is legendary, but the Bee Gees just got that sound, and they sing it in such a way that you know them instantly when their music come on. And more importantly, there's nobody else that could duplicate them. Not just in vocal, but their complete style. And I mean, the Bee Gees is just fire. You've heard their music in cult classic movies. Obviously, you've heard their music all across the world. You heard their music in commercials. So for me, it's the Bee Gees being the best trio on this list. Nirvana is cool, but I'm not necessarily a big fan of Nirvana. The Police got a fire catalog. The Police has a fire catalog. and Run DMC has a fire catalog. Like they the first real, I would say, megastar hip hop group. So so again, all of these are legends, legends. Shout out to Shay. Shay said 3 for me, Run. Yeah, so you said Run DMC. All right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm seeing Nirvana in the chat. So again, I see Nirvana. I seen Run. I went with the BGs. That sounds crazy, but I went with the BGs. The rest of the world at 37%. It's close, close, close vote. Over 127,000 people voted on this, y'all. 37% went with the Police. I'm not surprised, kind of surprised, because the Police catalog is super underrated. Super underrated. And I guarantee you, you've probably heard, most people have heard 6 of their songs. And if not their song, a different variation of it. The Police is, like I said, a very legendary group. So I'm surprised, not surprised. They obviously are not the most famous group on here, but their music ain't nothing to play with. So, I'm not mad at that at all. Like I said, there's no wrong answer. These are all legendary groups. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Our Hollywood Need to Ask a segment. Y'all know I came up with the segment because Hollywood just don't give us enough interest in movies. So, I got better ideas for both movies and a movie series. Quick shout out to Paul. We got Big Paul in the building. One of our day ones. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in and checking on. I seen the message. I replied to the message earlier. Thank you for checking on me. I appreciate that, Paul. Good night, Ash. Good night, everyone. Love to Paul, man. Make sure y'all hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show, and it takes us to a whole nother level. All right, y'all. Shout out to Ro. We got my dog Rolling 12 in the building. My dog Rolling 12. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. My dog Rolling 12. Hold on. Am I late? Nah, you good, brother. You good. Again, for those who tapped in last night, I'm normally on every Sunday and every Wednesday. Again, I had a family emergency that was unforeseen. And y'all know me, I never miss. I never miss 200 and this is the 234th episode. We don't miss no time around here, baby. We don't miss no time. It's always straight, you know what I'm saying? Always straight. So, like I said, it was unforeseen. But I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. Roll 12 is here. I know Roll 12 he gonna start his mess. Roll 12, make sure when you tapping in them jokes, you know what I'm saying, just say I'm kidding, you know what I'm saying? Because the mods don't play, you know what I'm saying? They get you up out of here, so just say I'm kidding, you know what I mean? Yo, Ash, I'm never... See, I can't even read the rest of that. See, y'all know I'm like Ron Burgundy. I'm going to read whatever comes up on the teleprompter. Well, Roman 12, I got to be careful, what I read. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Rowan 12, man. He's a day one, so I appreciate Rowan 12 for tapping in, as always, man. All right, y'all. So Hollywood Need to Ask Us. So my movie for tonight, I would love to see a movie based on the Plymouth Mall truck robbery. Y'all like, what? Yes, the Plymouth Mall truck robbery. I would call this movie Detour Route 3. And it's about that truck robbery where they got over estimated $16 million in 1962. Well, it was literally a little over 1 million, 2 million-ish, around that amount at that time, but it values today to $16 million. Again, this happened in 1962, and the kicker of this, nobody has ever got caught for this. So my movie would be based on that particular incident where the thieves basically put together a plan to hijack the police officers and the mail truck, cashing out from the Federal Reserve Bank as they was transporting in Boston. And like I said, they never got caught for this. So like I said, it valued at $16 million. It was at $1.5 million that they took at the time. And I think this will be an actual fire movie. It will be genre as a true crime movie. It has to be rated R. You you can't have a bank heist robbery type of movie and it's PG-13. Gotta be rated R. My foundational actors for this would be Cranston. Y'all probably know him from Breaking Bad. Jesse Plemons, Margot Robbie, Patina Miller, Joseph Sequoia, Amari Hardrick, and Kyle Chandler. So that would be my foundational cast. My director for this movie, I'm gonna throw y'all a curveball. I'm gonna go with Ben Affleck. I'm gonna make Ben Affleck direct this movie. My art director for this movie would be Jess Goller. Jess Goller did a movie called No Country for Old Men, something like that. So uh, having him being the art director for that would be absolutely amazing. The producer, I will go with Steven Soderbergh, and my co-writer would be David Mamet. So that would be what my movie would be based on again. The Plymouth mail truck robbery again that they got away with basically $16 million in value, and no one has ever gotten caught. So can you imagine the generations that was able to be effective positively financially? So I think that's absolutely dope when you could rob the rich, give to the poor, instead of robbing the poor and give to the rich, because that's what we do in our communities every day, which is crazy. So how about no robberies at all? Everybody get it how they get it, you know what I'm saying? The right way. But again, I would love to see this movie because they got away. I don't know if it's just me, but in movies, I kind of root for the bad guys. Like the considered bad guys in the movie, right? Like every time I watch Set It Off, I pray that all four of them would get away. And all four, at least two. But I always root for the bad guys or the perceived bad guys in these type of movies, especially when they're in dire need. So, Ash, I think you are not. Yeah, I'm not gonna read the rest of that. I will play Terry Crews. Yeah, if I put Terry Crews in this movie, Terry Crews could play in this movie. He could play in this. He could play a bank robber or a guard or something like that. You know what I mean? But I want serious Terry Crews. I don't want jokey Terry Crews. You know what I'm saying? We got too many of the jokey Terry Crews. We got classic Terry Crews. We got white chicks. We got what's the football movie? Oh my God, Longest Yard. We got Friday After Next. There's another one with him and Adam Sandler, and he plays like a resort singer or something like that. So we got funny Terry Crews. Terry Crews, we want to see the serious side of Terry Crews. You know what I'm saying? The Expendables Terry Crews was cool. So you know what I mean? Cheeseburger Eddie, yeah. We got too much of the Cheeseburger Eddie characters. You know what I'm saying? We got too much of the Cheeseburger Eddie characters, and I don't want to see him playing like a overly same sex role anymore. Because if you think about it, in White Chicks, he was same sex in it. Like he got down with chicks and guys. Like as long as they was white, it was all right. He ain't care. Like he found out Marla was a dude. He was like, "You not white?" Like he hit the dude in the beginning. So I want to see him playing no like pseudo same sex character. Next Friday, same sex again. Like he was trying to get at Money Mike. So we got enough of that Terry Crews jokey vibe. You know what I'm saying? We need good actor Terry Crews. You know what I'm saying? President Camacho. Yeah, we need some serious out of Terry Crews. So I think if I was to put Terry Crews in this movie, I know you said it jokingly, but again, it would be for a serious role. Send Terry Crews to Dagestan. Oh my God, y'all are stupid. Shout out to my dog Ro and Jack, yo. Shout out to Ro and Jack. Again, hit the likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth in the show. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment, our must-see segment. This segment, I'm going to give y'all 3 fire must-see movies to watch, and I'm giving out some Eddie Awards. Eddie who? Eddie Murphy. Instead of the Grammys, instead of the Emmys, we don't know nothing about them people. You know what I'm saying? Know nothing about them. You know what I'm saying? Grammys is not even from somebody, you know, is a whole nother story. But Eddie Murphy is the standard of acting. Anybody great, he came before anybody great. Like, let's keep it real. Eddie been popular since the 80s. We in 2026 and he still ring bells heavily. So I give out Eddie Awards. All right, so my first Eddie Award goes to the movie that is a must-see, came out in 2020, directed by Eliza Capehart. This movie stars Romaine Dennis, Stephen Bogart, Elizabeth Neal, Brett Donahue, and Erica Anderson. This movie is called Slack. This is a very interesting movie. This is not a movie I will watch that I would overly go see just by looking at the, you know, the previews, but sitting and watching it was very interesting. Very interesting. And it is a must watch movie. And that's my first Eddie Award. So make sure y'all go tap into that movie. Second Eddie Award goes to a movie that came out in 1984, directed by Brian De Palma. This movie stars Melanie Griffin, Craig Western, Deborah Shelton, and Greg Henry. This movie is called Body Double. Fire movie. Fire must-see movie. And my second Eddie Award, this movie, like I said, I'm not going to spoil it for y'all, but this movie is about a young actor navigating his way through Hollywood. And you have to see the rest of the movie. A third final must-see movie and Eddie Award came out in 1990, directed by Gerald Cohen. This movie stars Robert Vaughn, John Carradine, Daniel Pleasant, Nia Long, Karen Witter, Janine Denson, Ashley Hayden, and Ginger Lynn. This movie is called Buried Alive. This movie is also another interesting movie, and I believe this is probably Nia Long's first star role or second movie that she's ever done. Younger version of herself. But this movie is about girls at a camp, not a camp, but basically at a what they call that, like a home, like, you know, they send bad girls to the home or bad kids to the home to get right, but you know they can't be in the house anymore, and they're there, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't spoil it for y'all, so make sure y'all tap into the movie Buried Alive. So my three Eddie Awards go to these three movies again: Slack, Body Double, and Buried Alive. Make sure y'all tap into these movies. Y'all can see all three right now on Tubi, so make sure y'all tap into Tubi and YouTube as well. So make sure y'all tap into these movies. All right, y'all, moving on to our next one. I'm going to give y'all fire artists to tap into, whether they new or old, whether it's hip-hop or R&B, but I'm going to give out 3 Michael Awards. Yes, Michael Jackson. Yes, y'all get the rules of the game. So my first Michael Award goes to, well, to the artist, Little Vicious. If y'all don't remember who Little Vicious is, I'm going to give y'all 3 songs to go tap into because these songs are timeless. They fire, and when they was out, it was on a whole another level. So again, shout out to the artist, Little Vicious. So my first Michael Award goes to the song Nika. The song Nika. If y'all remember, if y'all know, fire song. So make sure y'all put that on y'all playlist and go tap in. Second must hear song and second Michael Jackson Award goes to the Glocks. I know that sounds crazy, right? The Glocks. The Glocks. So make sure y'all tap into that song. And my third final must-have song by Little Vicious, and my third Michael Award goes to the song Freaks. The song Freaks. I know when the song came out, he was like 10, 11 years old talking about freaks, but the song is fire. It's certified fire, and it's always been fire, always going to be fire, legendary song. So again, my 3 Michael Awards goes to Nika, the Glocks, and Freaks by Little Vicious. Make sure y'all go tap in and put those songs on y'all playlist. Don't forget to hit them likes, hit the 100, y'all, in the chat. Make sure y'all put them in the chat. It helps with the growth of the show. Yo, Ash, Little Vicious sounds like, yeah, nah, it's not. It's not. You know what I'm saying? He was a dope artist. He was a dope artist back in the day. He was. I ain't gonna hold you. He was a young dude at the time too. He was a young dude like in the late 90s, and he had songs that went crazy. He has songs that absolutely went crazy. So make sure y'all tap into the songs. These songs are timeless, might I add. So make sure y'all tap in. So, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Oh, you forgot about your song, Ash. Nah, you know what I'm saying? Like I give y'all know me. It's not always about me, or it's not always about me. It's not always about anybody, right? I show love to any, not any and everybody, but I show love to people who damn sure deserve it, yo, for real. So y'all already know how I give it up over here. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Again, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Cross-platform on both YouTube and Instagram. Y'all already know. Next segment. It's send them the turkey or nah. Send them the turkey or nah. Y'all know the rules of the game. You type in T to send them the turkey, or you type in N not to send them the turkey. Again, you type in T to send them the turkey, or you type in N not to send them the turkey. First one of the night, y'all. A viral video in question. It's going crazy, y'all. The question is, can relationships work if they're honest? Can relationships work if they're honest? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Type in T to send it to Turkey. Type in N not to send it to Turkey. Again, the viral question and video: can relationships work if they're honest? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, are we sending that to Turkey or not? Are we sending that to Turkey or not? Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Shout out to Vic. We got my dog Vic in the building. One of our day ones. One of our big badge holders. Big badge holder. Pause. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in, my dog Vic. Joe No Rules. Shout out to, we got Scooper in the building. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. Do you make? Yeah. You see it, Rowan Jack, right? You see him, right? You see Scooper out here being weird, right? You see him out here. You know what I'm saying? Scooper, you gotta talk to me nice, bro. The mods could be nice, but you gotta talk to me nice, Scooper, cause that sound crazy, brother. That sound crazy. But hit the likes, hit the 100s if you here. If you here to show love, show love. But if you here to be weird, the mods will show you better than I could tell you. Ash, rename it to send them to Rowan House. That's funny. Shout out to Paul. Paul said nah. Paul saying nah. Paul saying nah. She said she not sending it to Turkey. It's 50-50. Okay. Okay. Why do you think it's 50-50, Paul? Why? Vic, it ain't tricky if you can. It ain't tricking if you could afford it. My dog Vic, he said it ain't tricking if you can afford it. Ash Rowan out now. He had to make a call. Shay, Turkey. As a woman, that sounds good, but I don't want to know everything. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Shout out to Shay. Interesting. She said, as a woman, that sounds good, but I don't want to know everything. That's interesting. Shout out to Paul. Another woman in the chat. I learned too much about someone. It may want you to end the relationship on the flip side. Okay, so that's your 50-50. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Y'all don't forget to hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Me personally, I'm gonna send this to Turkey. I'm gonna send this to Turkey. Me personally, y'all. I'm sending this one to Turkey. Me personally. Now I hear what y'all saying in the chat, and if you haven't answered yet, throw in them answers again. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. But again, viral video question: can relationships work if they're honest? Again, I'm going based on, my past, right? The more honest I was, the crazier it made some of those exes. The more honest that I was. Now, it was quite interesting. I felt like I was being honest because I didn't want anybody else to feel they had something over the person that I was dealing with. So regardless, anything that you may hear, you don't hear from in the street. You hear it from me. So that way, when you get in the presence of people that like to gossip and like to talk, you already know what it is and you know how to maneuver, right? So I took that approach with, you know, some of those exes. And after a while, they was like, yo, you must not care about me. You must not love me because you always tell me the truth. Like, why tell me this? Like you want me to leave? You want me to feel a type of way? So it's funny that some of the ladies had mentioned it in the chat where one said, it sounds good, but I don't want to know everything. Then we had a next lady says, learn too much about someone. It may want you to end things and, you know, end the relationship on the flip side. So it's quite interesting that they said that and they didn't even know my past. So it's quite interesting that that was said. And for most ladies, when y'all say y'all want honesty, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Some guys, based on on their experiences, they're gonna gauge when and when not to be for real honest. Because the thing with men is our honesty have to have clear understanding. If our honesty leads to more disruptive behavior, it leads to less peace. We opted for peace. We trying to find peace. And sometimes we have to agree to disagree. We're not going to be sitting up here arguing about hypotheticals. We're not going to sit up here and argue about things that doesn't have resolution. I say this all the time. In past episodes, I've said this since the beginning of this show. When you're in a relationship, you have to be able to have the uncomfortable conversation and be resolution based. I live by that. I live by that. And if you can't get resolution by being honest, then that's not the person for you. That's not. Sometimes you omitting things is not a lie either. Right? Omitting things is not a lie because you don't want the bad energy. But sometimes you have to gauge the situation and opt for peace. Because you sit there, argue about that, and now it takes you into a hypothetical. I don't know about y'all, but I've had, in my past, when I was in my 20s, a lot of arguments over hypotheticals. In my 30s, yeah, I cut them hypotheticals out. Once I hit my 30s, I was like, yeah, nah, don't hit me with the hypothetical. Deal with what's real. Did I say that? Did I do that? Did we, you know, is this the case or this not the case? Or this is how you feel? If this is how you feel, I was about to say something mad. Like, you know, if, I got a reckless mouth. I ain't gonna hold y'all. But if this is how you feel, get it together. Because what's how you feel and what the actual reality is two different things. So I'm just saying, I'm not going to be sitting around arguing about no hypothetical. Shout out to my dog, Vic, Final Resolution. That's a fact. Because, like, real talk, when people get into relationships, the best part about that, them getting into a relationships, it's kind of like insanity, right? Because you're not in your right mind because you get in a energy that you didn't receive before, and it's consistent. But then after a while, when things kind of like you start to get to know somebody a little bit, right? It becomes a choice on continue to be there. Mind y'all, we don't got a lot of time on this planet to be effing around and arguing. Now, if we arguing and get to the bedroom activities, then I'm all for it. Because I don't know about y'all, but you know, sometimes a good argument could lead to some pregnancies. You know what I'm saying? That we having a good time around here. It could get real slippery around here. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, courtesy of the Diddy oil. You know what I'm saying? Get you some Diddy oil. A little take that. It's going to go a long way, fellas. It's going to go a long way. Get that lady in the house. Crack a couple jokes. You whip out the Diddy oil. Take that edition. Get real slippery. Have a good time. Feel me? So at the end of the day, I'm going to send that to Turkey. I don't think honesty is always the best policy in a relationship because Depending on your partner, they may or may not be able to handle it. And that goes for both men and women. Like, again, me as a man, I prefer you to be honest. I need that. I need you to be honest. I don't want to find out anything outside on them streets. Let me know up front so that way I can deal with it. I prefer to do that, you know, with the ladies that I choose. Hey, man, this is where we at with it. It is what it is. If I change my mind, I'm going to let you know when I change my mind. So, you know, that's just me. Shout out to Rowan 12. Can't forget the Blue Chew too, Ash. Yeah, I mean, if y'all into the Blue Chew, you know, get right, get you a little Blue Chew and get it cracking. I ain't never tried the Blue Chew. You know what I'm saying? And ain't no shame in having it and not having it. Do what you need to do to play the game at a very high level. You know what I'm saying? You feel what I mean? There ain't no athletic directors out here. You don't got to worry about, you know, nobody testing your urine. You could get that little booster and go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that. Shout out to Blue Chew. Blue Chew, you know what I'm saying? Holla at your boy, you know. You could do some work, you know, Blue Chew, you know what I mean? Do some work with your boy. Feel me? A little endorsement, a little something, a little love. So shout out to Blue Chew. That they won plug. After that, everything else gotta be an endorsement, Blue Chew. Shout out to Ugly Casanova in the build. Appreciate you for tapping in. My skin be okay. Shout out to you. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. If you here to show love, Ugly Casanova. Don't be here being weird. Show love. This is not the pod for being weird. This is real love over here. I don't have, thousands of weirdness in here. I got real ones in here. I build off realness. So show love. Ash, I can show you a. Yeah, I'm not reading the rest of that. Roll 12, you stupid. Make me a mod, Ash. Please add. Now, because Roll 12, you be saying crazy stuff, and you know you my dude, you one of my day ones. I think you would be kind of reckless as the mod, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. Again, we dealing with honesty, right? I think you'd be kind of reckless with being a mod, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna hold you. I give Ugly Casanova but one more time. Again, show love, y'all. But if y'all be too weird, I will get y'all up out of here. You feel what I'm saying? I'll get y'all up out of here. Stop playing with me. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next send them the turkey or nah. Boxer Big Baby Miller toupee gets knocked off mid-fight versus Kingsley Abbey. Let me know what y'all think about this in the chat. Are we sending him the turkey for fighting a fight with his toupee? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, are we sending Big Baby Miller to Turkey for getting his toupee knocked clean off mid-fight versus Kingsley Abbey? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. That can hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Me personally, I gotta send this to Turkey, dog. I gotta send this to Turkey. Y'all see it? Send them to Turkey. I'm sending this all the way to Turkey. Bruh, you fighting in a heavyweight boxing match, bro. You don't need to wear anything that can't be, you know what I'm saying? Like, the toupee, that's risque business right there. In the heavyweight fight, it's a lot of heavy punches right there, dog. You gonna get them to your head, to your face, to your body. Like, that was extremely embarrassing. Not only you mess up your sexy, you know what I'm saying? But, like, this is something, he's more famous for this than he is in his boxing career. And mind y'all, he won the fight. He's more famous for getting his toupee knocked off than for him winning the fight. Ain't that crazy? So I understand he wanted to be sexy. It's the heavyweight match. You know, get his head right. You know, he feeling good. He like, yeah, I'm about to piece this dude up real quick. You throw the toupee, the enhancement, the little white lines, yeah, bro. Just go in there with the baldy, bro. Just hit the baldy, bro. Then after the fight, you go, get your love level. But hit that fight with the baldy, bro. Now that the world knows that he wears a toupee, he can never pull up in the ring with another toupee. Like, it just looks crazy. It looks crazy. And I ain't gonna hold you. If I'm a toupee company, if I'm Chia Pet, or if I'm My Hair for Men, or if I'm any of these hair, processing companies that do the hair process, because ain't nothing wrong with getting the hair processed. All I'm saying, you can't fight heavyweight matches. I'm gonna holler at bruh. I'm gonna holler at bro. I'm gonna holler at Big Baby Miller and be like, yo, let's get this man a toupee. Because even though his toupee got knocked off, he's the most famous person right now that's known for wearing a toupee. And him being a boxer makes it easy to promote. Can you imagine the commercials? Toupee so good, it won't fall off when you get knocked out. Like, can you imagine the way they could go with that commercial? It would be endless jokes, but people would tap in. And most importantly, the bottom line is them dollars. So I think this will be an absolute slam dunk if he was able to do that. But I got to send him to Turkey. Fighting a heavyweight fight with a toupee is risque business. And he ended up getting extremely embarrassed. The only thing that saved him was him winning the fight. There's no way you can get your toupee knocked off and lose a fight. Ain't no way, bro. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if he did not win? Can you imagine? Bro, you got the toupee knocked off. You got two-piece with your toupee knocked off. That sounds crazy. That looks crazy. So the fact that he won, yeah, hook bro up with an endorsement because he could face adversity. He could look at adversity in the face and laugh at it. And he made it happen. So shout out to him for winning that fight, even though his toupees got knocked off. A one-way ticket, one-way flight to Turkey. Ash, come on. I know I make jokes, but I take it serious. Bro, you should have used hairspray on it. Bro, send him to Turkey. Get hair plants. All right, so Rowan 12, because you say you're gonna take it serious, I'm gonna take you serious, and I'm gonna show you some mod love, bro. I'm gonna show you some mod love. I'm gonna show you some mod love, bro. I'm gonna show you some mod love. You know what I'm saying? Pause. You know what I mean? So just because you're gonna take it serious, and I'm gonna take you at your word. Because you've been rocking with me from day one. But yeah, so again, again, ain't nothing wrong with a hair process. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Have your confidence all up, but fighting a heavyweight fight is nasty work, in my opinion. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and snaps.com. First hot topic of the night. Deputy Sean Grayson, guilty of the murder of Sonia Massey. Wonderful. Even better, he was sentenced to 20 years. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the murder of Sonia Massey by former deputy Sean Grayson, obviously convicted, found guilty of murder, and was sentenced 20 years. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. My dog Rowan 12 said, thank you, Ash, and he gave a gifted. I appreciate that. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. I appreciate the gifted. Thank you. And you already know, man. You already know. It's major love. Major love, Rowan 12. Right? Major love. But yeah, so let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, Deputy Sean Grayson, guilty of the murder of Sonia Massey. So some of y'all have never seen the footage of that. That was extremely nasty, where police was called to the home. She didn't call the police, and They showed up there in 2.0 seconds, acting like they wasn't, basically waiting on her house because they didn't like her. There was an issue really between that officer and I believe his girlfriend and Sonia Massey, and he act like she was reaching for something, and he took a life in her home. So he was found guilty, 20 years. So again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Me personally, I feel like he should have got life. I feel like he should have got life because that whole situation felt premeditated. It felt premeditated because there was a dispute with his girlfriend and Sonia Massey. And because he's the boyfriend, I feel like he has to interject in woman talk, because men, we don't interject ourselves with women talk. Let women, if they have their disputes, let women do what women do, in the sense of let women have their arguments. Just like how I'm a proponent. Ladies, stay out of men talk. When men talking, don't interject yourself. Don't interject yourself. Don't jump in the middle like you're going to do something. No. Sit your ass on the side. Don't pour gasoline on the fire. What you going to do? Like, no. Be quiet. Just like men. When women are arguing, you let women do women things, man. Let them argue what they argue about. And I don't want to say women things, but y'all get the point that I'm making. When women have a dispute, let the women have their dispute. Men, when we have our dispute, let us have our dispute. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I think of it. So I think it was premeditated, because there's no way they got there in the time that they got there. And then afterwards, on his cam, on his body cam, it was like a celebratory thing that he did this. If you've seen him around the other police officers, when everything, happened and went down after the fact, it was very like celebratory. And then on his cam footage, he tried to hit us with the boondocks. You remember the scene where he's like, yo, you see he got a gun? And he was like, no, I don't see he got a gun. And you're like, you don't see that gun he got pointed at you? He like, yeah, now I see it. It was kind of like one of those type of things where, like, he tried to make it seem like she was a threat, and she wasn't, and took her life in cold blood. So I honestly believe that he should have got life for this. I honestly believe it. Because at the end of the day, 20 years, all right, you get him off the street, 20 years, and I hope he served all 20. It's a good chance he may not, but he's getting time. In some cases, we've seen people completely get off, and we can't have people getting off. But he should have got life, in my opinion, for sure. Shout out to Rowan 12. Family should sue the police department. I'm not opposed to that at all. The first and foremost thing is obviously getting justice, right? But I'm not opposed to that at all. Based on the cam footage, they have a case. Based on the cam footage. Because this is crazy all in all. Like, at the end of the day, he did get 20 years. That's a long time. But is it suitable for that particular type of crime? And I think not. I believe he should have got life. Me personally. So we will see. But obviously, 20 years to life, he loses his job, loses his pension, and so on and so forth. So, like I said, I honestly believe, had that been a cultured man that went into a white woman's house and staged the murder, and she was no threat, come on, they put him under the jail. Right is right and wrong is wrong. So let's always keep it right. Bro, when the police department gets sued, that's usually when real change starts. That's a fact. That's a good point. That's a good point. Believe it or not, y'all, most police departments, they rather settle. But a part of settling is also terms to make changes. Doesn't mean it's going to be a positive change. It just means they're going to make a change. Because if you have a network of good old boys in the office, it matters, but kind of don't matter who is really in charge for real, right? You have to have fundamental changes. I remember I used to have arguments with my boys all the time. It was like, yo, the police department is corrupted and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, yes and no. And they're like, what you mean? I was like, I got family members that's police officers. They not corrupted. Like, I've heard stories with some of my cousins and my uncles took other officers to the back, and they had to situate something. You know what I'm saying? They had to piece them up real quick. You know what I mean? Just because they wasn't moving in a way that's not admirable, but that was personal. So there is a code of blue. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. There is a code of blue, but my thing is this: if me and 10 of my friends became police officers and we all move in righteousness and you all put us in the same location, right? Then if you made changes, then there's enough people and there's enough structure to make real changes. Because you got 10 people thinking about how things should be ran that's positive and for the community. There's rookies every day, and the more people you get in to bring in under you, the more people you have built to move in that change. So shout out to Rowan Jack, my dog Rowan Jack, back in the building. That is the best way to protest and pay off a mortgage. I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying to tell you, at the end of the day, that's the best way to do it, is to build within the walls. So that's why me and some of my boys used to get into those passionate debates about how real policing could change. So, all right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic and time to wrap. Viral video. I'm sorry, I skipped one. My bad. Here's a statement. Here's my statement. I don't want to hear nothing else about the Epstein files. I got Epstein fatigue. I don't want to hear Jack spit. I got to be careful in cursing. I don't want to hear Jack spit about the Epstein files. I don't want to hear it. Unless they ready to bring the damn files out. I don't want to hear who they think who they think is on it, who's on it, but they can't confirm it. They can't bring out the full story. This person was there, that person was there. I don't want to hear nothing else about this at all until this thing completely comes out. Till we know, cut and dry, who was at Epstein Island, who is in the video with the girls doing things they had no business doing. I don't want to hear nothing else about the Epstein files. I got Epstein fatigue. Because every 2 seconds, oh yeah, with the Epstein file, we got Jeff Epstein. He with this, singer or that rapper or this entertainer or that politician. Oh yeah, where's the proof? Where's the proof? I don't want to hear no more about this. Because it makes no sense. Because at the end of the day, Jeff Epstein died a minute ago at this point. And is this still relevant? Of course. Yes. But for years, we've been hearing, we're going to bring out the Epstein files. It's public and this, that, and the third. But where's the proof of it? You can't just say that something happened without proof. We living in 2026. People are going to protect themselves and protect what they have. And if you have proof, they have to be cool like they be cool and take their punishment. I don't want to hear who's suspected to be on it. I don't want to, oh yeah, they might know somebody that was there. I don't care. I don't want to hear Jack spit about the Epstein files until they release it. Until they release it. This politician is on there. This athlete is on here. This actor is on there. And these are major figures. Cool. They on it. Show the proof so that way we can not mess with them no more. Show the proof. Other than that, like, what are we talking about? Every 2 seconds, Epstein this, Epstein that. Where's the damn files? I'm tired of the projection. Bring out the damn files. What's taking so long? They like, yo, if this file hit, it's going to end a lot of careers. All right, cool. Let's bring them out. What T.I. say? Bring them out, bring them out. If you're not going to do that, I don't want to hear nothing else about this. That's just me personally. That's just me personally. Shout out to Rowan Jack. Sorry, Ash, but the files also indicate Epstein is still alive. Bro, I actually believe he's still alive, bro. What they say in Power, if you didn't see the body, he didn't die. What Dolph Lundgren say in Rocky 4, if he dies, he dies. Yo, we heard, but we ain't seen the body. And some people like, nah, he really is dead. I seen the body. This is Epstein, who have all these files on these top level people. You don't think they could put together a production in jail of a fake body and make him dress as a guard to get him out of there? What? Hollywood? Hollyweird? You crazy? So I definitely agree with you, Rowan Jack. I definitely agree with you. If he's still alive, I can believe it, because it'll be like a Hollywood movie. We got a star witness against this politician, this actor, this athlete. Who do they have? It's the lady that was with him, huh? Nope, it's not her. Nope. He comes out from the back with the mask. It's Epstein. Oh my God. So I wouldn't be surprised. So I agree with you on that, Rowan Jack. I agree with you. Shout out to H1 in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. The elite help the elite is old as time. I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. Brother, life is stranger than fiction. Bro, I agree with it. Y'all not saying nothing that I don't agree with. Y'all not saying nothing that I don't agree with. Because at the end of the day, it's certain things we've never seen for real. And we just taking it for face value. Because honestly, we kind of have to. We kind of have to. For some of us, I mean, I'm 41, right? So there's things I've been hearing ever since I was a kid. And it's like they keep shucking it down. Like it's a part of our own vibe and being, right? Until you do the research, until you find things out that it's a Hollywood production. If they could put together the Marvels, DC, and make it look real, what the hell you think they could do in reality? Why do you think they release the value of AI? Y'all think AI just came out? They've been hitting us with the AI. Same thing in music. Some people say, oh, they got AI artists. They've been had AI artists. They mixed in AI artists with live artists, and they smoothed them up out of there. Some artists that had hits that we've never seen in real life. Never seen them outside. Been had AI. Music, videos, movies, or AI. They've been had it. Always had the technology. Just like in the movie Enemy of State with Will Smith. That movie came out in the 90s. And they easily was able to change things in live video. There's somebody right now that got the capability that's at whatever they at in the world that can look into my place right now, just viewing the cameras and all this other stuff. But they got something that's hidden in one of these lights that I got up that got a camera even more high definition than the one that I got for y'all. Is that real? Is that real? I mean, that opens up Pandora's box. Does, for sure. What is real is fake, and what is true is a lie. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. Rowan 12, for real, where's Frank Ocean at? I'm saying. Have you ever seen Frank Ocean in real time? The Truman Show. Yep, I remember the Truman Show for facts. I remember the Truman Show. Truman Show was wild. And it was before its time, and it was in the 90s. And we think we get all this technology. Come on, y'all. Like, and let's keep it real. One of my favorite shows of all time, and I've said this before, Family Matters. Family Matters came out in the late 80s, yo. Steve Urkel was the first to have Wi-Fi. He was on the beach in Maui talking to Laura back in Chicago. She like, yo, how are you calling me? He like, yo, I'm using the satellite, baby. I'm chilling on the beach thinking about you. I'm at the cheese convention in Maui. What's happening? What you doing? You thinking about me? Steve Urkel was building rockets to do a damn gym exercise. Cloning stuff. I don't know why Carl Winslow didn't make him clone some damn money, but it is what it is. As much stuff he broke up around their crib. But anyway, he cloning stuff. He got time machines where he could turn into Bruce Lee and Elvis and all this stuff. This is technology that they've been had, and they displayed this in the late 80s. And we in 2026. And the reason why we just getting AI now is because they made it profitable. They got stuff now, right now, that we don't even know about, that in 30 years, when we're really old for real, we be like, damn, I knew they had that too. I'm telling you, shit is on a whole nother level. So again, at the end of the day, me personally, I don't want to hear nothing about these Epstein files. I don't want to hear nothing else until they release these files, until they do what they're going to do with these files, because this feels like a Hollywood production. This feels like every time something that they really trying to hide, they bring up Epstein. Be like, yo, what's going on over there? Oh, nah, don't worry about what's going on over there. That stuff over there is real serious, but we need to talk about these Epstein files. That's what we need to talk about. So much to the point, they got the president name supposedly in the Epstein files. And if his name is, then show the proof. If it isn't, it is what it is. And I'm not caping for that. But show the proof. That's all I'm saying. Whoever's on the files, release the files and stop playing with it. Stop. Like, how many more years are we going to go through this? It's going to be 5 years from now. They're like, yeah, you know they're about to release the Epstein files. Yeah, all right, no doubt. I don't want to hear nothing else about the Epstein files. How much crypto do you have, Ash? I learned crypto, I ain't gonna hold y'all, probably about, I'll say about like 5 years ago. I learned about crypto about like 5 years. I would say like right before, no, I learned crypto about like 10 years ago. It's been 10 years for crypto. I used to, I'm saying, dib and dabble in the sports betting, but that's how I learned about crypto. The Vietnam War, cloud seeding, 1967. Interesting. I had an uncle that fought in the Vietnam War. That's a fact. Rest in peace. And the first day I ever met him, he passed away. My very first day. Like, I was around him as a kid, but I don't remember. The first day I actually remember, like, meeting him and being like, oh, snap. Like, yo, you my uncle. And by the time we got back, and I met him in Virginia, because a lot of my mother's side of my family is in Virginia. By the time we got back to Brooklyn that same day, and we came from a funeral. I met him at a funeral. At one of my aunts. Met him at my funeral. Please, I'll throw that in there. But I met him at a funeral. And by the time we got back to Brooklyn, we had to go back out to Virginia, which is crazy. Shout out to my dog CC in the building. You already know, my dude. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. Don't forget to hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show, cross-platform and Instagram, YouTube. And again, the show Major Love. I'm on the road. Well, we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 12. So continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. It helps with the growth of the show. Become a member and take advantage of those memberships. We got people in here that have had their memberships for almost 2 years. Big, super duper badge holders. So again, show that love. At least hit them likes, hit them 100s, hit them hearts in the chat. My dog Rowan 12. He must have had some crazy stories. I never got a chance to really kick it with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was one of them uncles that you would hear about, and you hear like the legend, and then it's like, yo, and then the day that I met him, and it's like, yo, we left that same day. We left that same day, which is crazy. So, Ash, hold on to his, 2 coin. Stupid, Roy Jack. Shout out to my dog, Rowan Jack. He just gifted 5 memberships to the chat, man. Thank you for that, my brother. So shout out to those new subscribers. Y'all got some memberships as well to your name. Again, throw some thank yous to my dog, Rowan Jack. I appreciate your contribution to the show as always, my dude. For real. For real. So make sure y'all hit that brother with some thank yous, because I'm appreciative of that as well. So again, my dog Rowan Jack, some gifteds to the chat, man. Thank you for that. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Rap. Viral video is going crazy, y'all. It's going crazy. It's a viral video of a woman saying, men who pay all the bills get cheated on. Men who pay all the bills get cheated on. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. I know we got married men in the chat. I know we got single men in the chat. I know we got I know we got single women in the chat. And I know we probably got a married woman in the chat. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. We got a little of everybody in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Viral video go crazy right now. A woman saying that men who pay all the bills get cheated on. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, this is easily one of the most idiotic things I've ever heard. I live in reality. Not only I've been in situations, but I know people that are in situations that pay all the bills, that take care of their woman. Bruh, if you have a woman who's dumb enough to cheat on you while you paying all the bills, that's not something negative to the guy. That's not something negative to the guy. Because now if the guy finds out and he values a woman not sleeping around, then she's out. It's just that simple. It's not smart. But fellas, don't ever think that if you don't pay bills, that she not going to get that thing spit on. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you don't pay the bills, there's a good chance she going to skate too. Trust and believe. So it's either way. What it comes down to is whether the woman that you're dating like you enough, not even like you enough, she likes you more than you like her. If a woman likes you more than you like her, she rather drive you crazy than let somebody else drive her crazy with the Diddy oil. She rather drive you crazy than letting somebody else drive her crazy with the Diddy oil. These are facts of life. Facts of life. When a woman like you more than you like her, she'll drive you up the wall. She'll drive you up the wall before you do anything, before she even thinks about anything, because she's that solid. It means that much more to her to be faithful than to play you out. And that doesn't require not paying bills or paying bills. Now, some women may say is that they're married, her husband pay all the bills, and she does her thing on the side. Okay. If he values you not cheating, if he finds out, you're gone. So that's not strategic or smart. And some women will say, well, it is kind of smart because I ain't never going to get caught. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. That doesn't make you a good cheater neither. It's just that men is not going to blow up their spot. Like for men, it's more of a flex to say that, yeah, I smashed your wife and I smashed your girl. opposed to us smashing your wife and smashing your girl than blowing you up. We're not going to blow it up. The thrill of being able to do it without the person knowing is the flex. Now, if he knows, then guess what? Dude just kind of out the game. He like, yeah, I'm cool now, boo. It was fun when he didn't know. Now he knows. It's like, So it's not a flex for some women that think that. So this video that's going viral, and there's a lot of women speaking out saying that this is true. Ladies, it's not true. This is not a flex. To say that men who pay the bills get cheated on is nah. And for me personally, I ain't gonna hold you. There's probably only been one relationship that I've been in where I took care of all the bills. Yeah, she drove me crazy. She rather drive me crazy than for her to cheat. She rather drive me crazy, which she tried to, than for her to cheat. So at the end of the day, this is BS. And I'm not proud of all of my past myself, but I've dealt with women that had boyfriends and had husbands. Not proud of that. I just don't ask whether a woman has a husband or boyfriend because that's not my place to know. I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it a buck with y'all, judge or not judge. I just don't ask women what they got going on at home. I have other conversations regarding that. My chart conversations and all stuff like that. Like, those are the conversations I have. But I don't have like, yo, are you dealing with this person? Like, if you really dealing with this person, you wouldn't be talking to me. That's just my logic, right? But the point that I'm making is some of them was taken care of, well taken care of, and some of them wasn't. So either way, but fellas, if you don't take care of no bills, you kind of lose leverage too. But I'm not capable for you to pay bills to keep your woman in check. Nah, like, you shouldn't have to keep nobody in check. You like, what are we doing? She not no damn dog. I know they like to say it, but they ain't no damn dog. It's a whole human being. She keep herself. You know what I'm saying? You check your woman, but y'all get the point that I'm making. Like, the handle, like, nobody should have to handle you. You didn't have to handle no woman. Like, in real reality, when you're in a relationship, dealing in a relationship, let's keep it a buck. You should be happy. She should be happy, and y'all should add your happiness. There's no way she can make you be happy and vice versa. And this is a part of the cheating culture that we're in today. So, especially in today's culture, where most dudes don't even want to get into a relationship. Ladies, you know one of the reasons why most dudes don't want to get into a relationship, because they don't want to end up being the guy, whether they paying bills or not, but just taking you serious, and you end up smashing a dude on the side that they don't know about. That's a part of the big reason. It's a part of the big reason. And fellas, again, don't trick yourself to believe that if you do pay bills that she not, and if you don't pay bills that she not. People gonna do what they want to do. They're gonna do what they want to do. And obviously, this is not every woman. This is not every person. It is individual based. But at the end of the day, yeah, nah. Paying all the bills don't result to you getting cheated on. I'm telling you what it is. Shout out to the chat, showing major love in the chat. Y'all already know, cross-platforming on both Instagram and YouTube. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic and time to wrap. New trend. Pro basketball players, whether they played in the NBA, G League, other pro leagues around the world, bypass college, been playing in these pro leagues, and want to go back to college to, get some eligibility. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Do y'all think that's cool? Again, you have pro athletes, pro basketball players, whether they play in the G League, whether they played in the European League, and some of them have even played in the preseason and a couple of season games in the NBA. It's not working out. They want to go back to college play college ball in hopes of getting drafted into the NBA. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. And again, shout out to Rowan Jack. He just gifted 5 memberships to the chat, man. Again, appreciate that, Rowan Jack. Shout out to Carl Lloyd. Is that Kansas King? Squabs. Shout out to K. Koo and Xavier. Just gifted some in the chat. Shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate Rowan Jack for that too, man. All right, y'all. So what do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? Me personally, I think this is terrible. I said this before. The NBA has been trash and is going to continue to be trash. The product is ass. And that's not saying that they don't have great players. They have players that could really play. They have players that are very skillful. They got guys in the NBA that could put on a show. But the problem with the NBA is that the NBA has no real identity. And the reason why they don't have no real identity, they're not leaning on the organizations. It's not team-based. It's individual-based. That's why you got so many super team whores, where you got a great player, an all-time great player on one team, wants to go play with another all-time great on another, opposed to teaming up with somebody that their games match. And one guy could be the all-time great, and the other guy could be like the all-time glue guy. He could be the all-time, and I get it when guys get older and want to play together. That kind of makes sense because you're older, you're famous, and your game is in the decline. But when you're in the prime of your career, you want to be the guy on your team. You want to have your own version of Scottie Pippen, a great role player. Yes, Scottie Pippen was a role player, a great role player at that, but he was a role player. He was not a star franchise player. Every team that's built for championships, you will want a guy like a Scottie Pippen, a Draymond Green, a Tony Parker. You want a guy like that on your team who are not franchise players, but highly great role guys that get the job done, whether it's scoring, whether it's defense, whether it's shooting, whether it's all of the above, leadership. I'm saying all great teams need great glue guys. So with this, when you have the players bypassing going to college and say, I'm going to go to the G League. I'm going to go to one of these leagues, in Turkey or in any of these countries, Argentina. And because they didn't go to college, things are not working out the way they want to, but they playing pro ball. They're getting pro experience. Once you do that, you can't go back to college, in my opinion. You could go back to college and get your education, but to play college basketball, that's backwards, bro. How do you play pro to go back to college? That doesn't make sense. And then they also allow this, like a part of the draft process, where they allow guys to, go to a couple of camps, but they don't have to declare. Once you declare, it's a wrap. Ain't no going back. So I just think that's completely crazy in my opinion. And that's a part of why the NBA product has been trash. It's been ass because they don't lean on teams. And within the teams don't play with a certain style. The whole league plays the same way. Everybody plays run to shoot threes. So there's no intrigue in the game. There's not one team that running guns to throw alleys. There's not another team that running guns to play bully ball. Everybody play run and gun to shoot threes. It's not interesting. It's not intriguing. Styles make fights. That's what made the 80s so great. That's what made the 90s so great. That's what made the early 2000s so great about NBA basketball. Styles made fights. So at the end of the day, this is a part of the weak product that we get in. And mind you, these are great players. These are great players. Guys could shoot. Guys could dribble. Guys could do this. Guys could do that. But there's no marquee matchups. There is no more Bulls versus Lakers or Celtics versus Lakers. There is no more Bulls and Knicks. There is no more, what's another rivalry I'm not saying right now? But y'all get the point that I'm making. Y'all get the point that I'm making. There's no more rivalries. There's no more Detroit versus Chicago. Where's the rivalries? Like, this shit is ass. And a part of the rivalries is styles make fights. So you got this super whore mentality where players are not getting the pub, not getting the shine that they think they're going to get to cheat kind of the, it's not even kind of, like you're playing pro ball and want to go back to college to play college basketball. What? Nah, bro. You made the decision. Now play pro ball. That's what you want to do. Let's keep it funky. You don't want to go to class anyway. That was the reason why you didn't want to go to college in the first place. Because if you want to get your money and play and go to class, you could do that in college now. They have an NIL deal, and they pay you directly through the school. So you get two types of money in college now. You get that NIL, and you get paid directly to the school. So it's not like you went to go play pro ball to get the money. You just didn't want to go to class. So you're like, yo, I'd rather go to Argentina just to play pro ball and get paid. But now you're going to go back to college. So you're going to go to Argentina to go back to Syracuse? That's what we doing? You going to go to Turkey to turn around and go to Lynchcombe State? Nah. This is a part of the bum-ass NBA mentality when it comes to players wanting everything. You can't have it all, bro. It's either you're going to go play pro ball or you're going to play college, then play pro ball. Can't have it both ways. Can't have it both ways. Shout out to my dog Cece in the building. Ash the elephant in the room is the NBA doesn't know how to move from a 41-year-old LeBron James and focus in the young stars and talent. There's something to be said about that. But see, this is twofold. It's twofold. I don't think it's not that they don't know how to. I don't think it's that their names don't ring bells. When you're a young superstar, you're a young superstar. All people got to do is see you. That's it. So I don't think it's a young superstar problem. I believe that they don't have a lot of young superstars in the NBA. They have a lot of good players, a lot of great players, but being a great player or a great shooter don't make you a star. It don't move the needle. So that's a part of the reason why LeBron James is still very vital to the NBA. It's because he's still a legit star at 41 years old or 42 years. No, he's 41. He's same age as me. Still a legit star, if not the biggest star in the NBA right now. But let's keep it real. Outside of Ant-Man, they have other great players outside of Ant-Man, but none of them you're going to market the game after. Let's keep it a buck. LaMelo Ball could play. He can play. But you're not putting the NBA name on his shoulders. He's not must-see TV night in, night out. I'm just keeping it a buck. He's not a guy that's going to go to your team and you're going to win 50 games, go to the playoffs, and he's going to make it look good. Ant-Man could do that. He's been doing that. He's going to win a certain amount of games, and you have to see Ant-Man because Ant-Man is playing to, like, yo, I'm better than you, dude. Like, I'm nicer than you. I'm going to show you. I don't care if you're a veteran or you're a young guy like me, you're going to get this work tonight. But at the same time, and let's keep it real, Ant-Man is not going to be the face of the league. He's not. He had a chance to be. He's just not because of things that happen off the court. Great player. Great player. Looked like he damn near looked like Michael Jordan. I ain't going to hold you. I thought that was Michael Jordan's illegitimate child. That nobody wanted to like officially say like, yo, that's my seed. You know what I'm saying? But he's not going to be the face of the league. He's going to be one of the best guys in the league that busts ass. He probably won himself a championship, but he's not going to be the face of the league because of the off the court stuff that he had with, you know, his previous, you know, romantic situations. There's not enough marquee players in the league, and that's the problem. And the problem with that in itself is that they don't market the team. If they will market the team, the players will shine just through the team. Because that's what drives the sport. Why you think NFL is the NFL? You don't say, I want to see Rodgers versus Um, I want to see Rodgers versus Lamar. No, you say I want to see the Chiefs versus the Baltimore Ravens. There's no more. I want to see the Knicks versus the Pacers. People say I want to see Brunson versus Halliburton. And if they do that, the sport going to continue to die because these guys are super team whores. They're super team whores. They all want to play on the same team. No competition. Shout out to Malu in the building. We got Malu in the building, one of our day ones. Big badge holder in the building, one of our mods in the building. Make sure y'all talk to me nice because Malu do not play them games, y'all. Talk to me nice. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Shout out to Malu. My dog Cece. Another problem is what MJ back in 2005, the league is paying these players contracts without them playing on in one NBA game. There's no incentive for them to earn the contract. They shout out to CC exactly. The ball of making the next gen. Hey y'all, hey Ashley. Yeah, shout out to Malu, man. Shout out Malu be showing love. Peace. Shout out to Yellow in the building. Big badge holder Yellow in the building. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. Hit them likes, Yellow. Hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. If you have so already, do it again for your boy one more time. Appreciate you for tapping in. But yeah, man, that's a part of the bigger conversation with the NBA. And that's a part of the bigger problem. These guys want to get paid. They get paid. And they can play. They can play. But if you play when you want to, in my book, you're mediocre. You're ass. You're ass. That's why the 90s and the early 2000s is so revered, y'all. When you go back and look at these videos, the videos don't do it justice when you look at the highlights. Because when they was balling out night in, night out, you knew you was going to get a great watch. And you knew you was going to get styles. You was going to get styles. If y'all remember the Memphis Grizzlies, when they was the Vancouver Grizzlies and they had a young Zebo and Mark Gasol, they played a certain type of way that other teams didn't want to play. Physical, that's a style. Then you had other teams like the Phoenix Suns, the Dallas Mavericks, that's up and down the court trying to get to the cup. They wasn't trying to pull up threes. They trying to get to the cup. Styles make fights. And that's the NBA biggest problem. And it starts with the young players because they're part of the super team horror conversation and culture. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic in time to rap. Question. The Grammys was on last night, and this was going to be a question for yesterday's episode. And again, I'm sorry that I wasn't on yesterday, but I had a family emergency that was unforeseen. So that's why we're doing last night's episode tonight. But the Grammys was on yesterday. And question, has the Grammys become the grounds for pimps and hoes? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Has the Grammys become the grounds for pimps and hoes? Am I tripping or not? Do I sound disgruntled because I'm an artist? I don't think I'm disgruntled because, I never aimed to try to get a Grammy. No, that's not true. In my earlier career, I did. Until I did my research and understood what the Grammys meant and what it's for, how it even came about. Y'all know the Grammys started, they just wanted to find a way for real for musicians to get love because there was no real way for musicians to get a Hollywood star on the Walk of Fame. It was basically reserved for movie stars. So it was like, hey, there's too much great talent out here. There's too many good singers. They got to get a star on this Walk of Fame. So a part of that was through starting the Grammys. Yeah. But since I was a kid, I always thought the Grammys was the grounds for top level talent. And for quite some time, a lot of these winners of these awards do not be top level talent. Whether it's an album, a song, It's not top level, and very rarely it's the best of that year. They said it's very funny because I actually have a, I actually have an ASCAP vote, right? I get to vote on ASCAP, right? Now they say the Grammys is not based on fame, but if you sold 4,500 copies of your music and it's absolutely fire, flawless production, flawless vocals, whether you're rapping or singing, a concept like no other, and a visual like no other, you have to have some sort of status to be recognized by the Grammys. So obviously, it's famous driven. Now, have indie artists won it before? Of course. But don't think that that indie artist got up there or was able to get up there for just the sole merit of them being talented. And I'm not saying that they did something strange for a piece of change. I'm saying that they knew somebody that was a part of the process that made their recognition easy. Paperwork, knowing the committee. That's what makes it a bit easier to be recognized as an independent artist. That's not a feeling. That is facts. So has the Grammys become the grounds of pimping and hoeing? Again, another reason why I asked that or raised that question is the artist's wardrobe choices. For quite some time, a lot of artists go up there with very risque clothing choices. I mean, some of these female artists, I mean, for years, I mean, whether they come out with a boob out, they're just gonna let the titty hang. Okay. Some will go up there with a see-through white t-shirt. You got other artists up there with basically chest out, have nipple rings on, and the nipple rings holds up the dress. See the rest of the body. She got drawers on, but damn, easy access. Much, maybe, ma'am? You may want to cover that. Is it advertising for pimping and hoeing? Because in my mind, when I think of the Grammys, it's supposed to be high level. It's supposed to be something that's like, yo, it's the Grammys. What happened to black tie events? What happened to ladies dressing like ladies? What happened to people being able to stand out by just being classy and classic? What happened to a nice, sexy dress on a woman that's an artist, and because she has a nice body or the way she carries herself, it just stands out. Look how beautiful she looks. She's natural. I'm just saying. Now, for the guys, I mean, it ain't but too many choices guys could wear to the Grammys, right? You ain't not gonna see the bras up on the Grammy go shirtless, just sit out there with the grunge jeans and just we out here in the Grammys with no shirt on. Nah, you ain't gonna see that. You're not gonna see that. But you see the guys advertising the woman that they with. This is my hoe. Look, she don't got no clothes on. Look, I'm advertising her to the highest bidder. And somehow, some way, these women that dress very risque, they don't even look like they be in their right mind. So is it a breeding ground for pimping and hoeing? I think so. That's why I raised the question. Shout out to the chat. The chat, y'all been going in the chat. Y'all been going in the chat. Shout out to Malu. Shout out to Yellow D. Pause. It's even darker, but that's another show. Ash on 12 wants to have. I'm not gonna read the rest of that row of Jack. Malu Ashley. It looks like I missed that one, Malu. It looks like I gotta go up. I thought that show. Hold on. What did he say? Y'all stupid. Some of these I'm not gonna read because y'all being funny in the chat. I'm not gonna read some of these. Malu, that's so sad. We're on 12 exactly. We all know the humiliation ritual theory. Some people really think that's a myth. Some people think that the humiliation ritual and theory about artists and actors, some people really think that's not real. Some people really think that. That's a very real thing. That's a very real thing. You reap what you sow in the music industry. Not every single person. I'm not one of those people that believe that every single musician, artist, label is only successful because they gave up some ass. I don't believe that. I honestly believe hard work, preservation, getting their music in the hands of the right person, this, that, and the third, but it's an industry. And in the industry, you go along to get along. And it may not be that artist in particular, but they not too far removed from the shenanigans. Again, not all, but it's an industry for a reason. Shit, shit. Matter of fact, I'll tell y'all this. When I first started my label, back in the day, and the women I would get to come through, whether they rapped or sing, was talented, and some of the ladies was like, yo, Ash, how can I get you to pay attention even more? Just do your thing. Just do your thing. And my bros would be like, yeah, bro, that's not what she asking you. I know what she asking me, but I answered her. Just do your thing. I'm here for your talent. I'm not here for nothing else. Nah. I'm cool. That worked maybe like 99% of the time. There was a few that was very persistent, but that had nothing to do with music. I promise you. I promise you. They didn't get put on. Okay? They like me. I like them a little bit. And I ain't never put them on. Okay? So I didn't do quick pro quo with them. I told them, you're not getting on, okay? You're not getting on. I'm not going to invest in you. They're like, yeah, forget all that. I'm trying to see what's up with you. Oh, so now we're talking a different conversation. So I never took the route of quick pro quo. You do something for me, and I do something for you. I don't play like that. I don't play like that. I said, ma'am, you're good. You can go. You're good. You can go. Enjoyed you, but we want to go in this direction. And I'm gonna keep it honest with you. As an independent artist and running an independent label, I wasn't gonna sign like 20 artists. The budget wasn't for 20 people. I'm keeping it a buck. Yo, it's enough budget for 8 of us in here, like including me. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta pick the best 8, not me. So it was no space for a quick pro quo, because that's not how I get down. Now, some of my homies was like, no. So, yeah. But the industry in itself, people do it. They know how to weaponize sex, for sure. But with the Grammys in itself, think of that room. And think of what people were willing to do to become famous. And I believe, and this is my opinion, a lot of times when we see our so-called celebrities and so-called legends, and we see them really going through something, they get a whole bunch of tattoos to cover their body. They lose their mental state. There's something that happened to them traumatically in the business for them to end up the way they end up that way. All that money, that sexy money, that sound good. Oh, that artist signed for $10 million. You look at their lifestyle, ain't nothing about their lifestyle say 10 or million. More like 5,000. And they spent it that day. And it's called the industry for a reason. So me personally, I'm not a hater. I love great music. I love great artistry. And that's period, point blank. I even show love to other artists. Because I'm one of the artists that believe that, yo, there's enough love for everybody. There's not another artist that's going to take away my love if I show them love. Nah, no, I don't believe that. Everybody going to get their love the way they're going to get their love. It may not be the same, it may not be equal, but they're going to get their love when you get your love. So I have no problem showing love to other artists. So I'm about the artistry of music. But Grammys is definitely a grounds for pimping and hoeing. Definitely a grounds. Look where we came from. 90s, 2000s, early 2000s, 2010. Now we got all these stories about all these freaked out people that was doing all these things going on back at that time. And all these artists who was popping at that time, all broke, all struggling, selling their catalog, doing this, doing that. I'm just saying. It is what it is. And it's telling on itself in real time. Shout out to Malu. It's a loss. CC for sure. Malu again, exactly, Ashley. Shout out to CC. Before Big Daddy Kane, there was Ash. Nah, Big Daddy Kane way older than me, bro. Shout out to Big Daddy Kane, because Big Daddy Kane is a whole legend out here. You know what I'm saying? Big Daddy Kane is probably older than my brother. You know, that's my brother era. You know what I'm saying? Big Daddy Kane. But I remember Big Daddy Kane. He was popping. He definitely held Brooklyn down for a period of time. Shout out to Big Daddy Kane. Legend. Matter of fact, I just watched the movie last night with Big Daddy Kane in it called Posse. If y'all ever seen Posse with Mario Van Peebles, his pops is in there, Sally Richardson, Pam Grier. Oh my God, it was mad people in this movie. Reggie Vell Jackson. Oh man, it was mad people in this movie. I'm missing a whole lot of people. Oh man, the dude that plays Debo from Friday, Tiny Lester, is in this movie. One of the Godwins, one of the Baldwin brothers in here in this movie. The movie's popping. If y'all never seen Posse, make sure y'all go see Posse. It's a fire movie. It's a whole lot of celebrities and great actors in that movie. Top tier. And I'm forgetting like 2 people in that movie. I can't say their name. Their name is not hitting me, but I see their face though. But popping movie. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. There has been a user online person who's been disguising himself as a Maryland recruiter. And the reason why this even matters is because he's been reaching out to scam recruits, whether they're in high school or whether they're in the transfer portal. And he's sending them like fake offers of coming to the school. So now when the players reach back to the school and things of that nature, it makes the players make them look crazy. It'll be like, hey, we never reached out to you. Like, yes, you did. Here's the logo. Here's the letter. Here's the coach I've been talking to. Like, yeah, he's not a coach here. We don't know who that is. We don't recognize his credentials. If you have that type of time and energy to fake as a recruiter, to break the spirit of people that's trying to live their best life and to better themselves, and this is the merit of sports, dude, your karma is going to be nasty. There's nothing I can say that make your karma be any worse than it already is. But to put that type of energy, to get the font letter, to get to do all the things that it would take to act like you're a recruiter, get t-shirts, get pictures, the whole 9 yards, get the whole letter form, and to spend, like, let's keep it real, you have to spend hours to even pull that off just to get the reaction of, yeah, he gonna look stupid. No, you look stupid. You look stupid for even trying to pull that. Your karma is gonna be something nasty in the worst type of way. But you the one that looks stupid. How does that person look stupid for thinking that he's worthy and have gained the opportunity through his hard work and being diligent with his time into being a better athlete, why wouldn't he think that a top level school wouldn't want him? Like, so it just baffles my mind that that person actually thought that they made that person look stupid. No, you tell them on yourself, bro. You look crazy doing that. And you're spending 24 hours a day to do it. To put that type of energy out there, I just don't understand it. It's baffling to me, y'all. Make sure y'all hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show, especially if you've done it already. That's messed up. Shout out to Ruin 12. That's messed up. That's a fact, bro. That's messed up. Like, who? That's what I'm saying. To take all that time and energy to fake that, and then as a parent, you like, yo, like, who don't think enough of you that much to put that much any energy into doing that? And this person did it to several players. Even one player is too much, but several players is like, yo, like, what are we doing as our society? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. So again, his karma is going to come to him tenfold. That's nasty work. And for anybody that works like that, not just in, obviously, in a recruiting game, but people that do that on a job, or because you don't like this person and they have aspirations on becoming something greater than what they are, and you do this to finesse or to make them feel a certain type of way, to feel like they're not less worthy because you inside don't feel worthy. You inside don't feel good enough based on the things that you try to do. And you're just trying to match energy, but you're not matching energy. You're taking your hurt and to create more hurt. Which is crazy. Which is crazy and nasty work. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Did y'all know there's over 2,500 New York City subway trains sitting at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. And the reason why they have these trains, why they put these trains down there, they release these trains at the bottom of the Atlantic, is because they're trying to create artificial reef for fish and coral. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Why is that important? Why is that important? Water pressure. Water pressure, and God forbid there's any type of, I don't want to say tsunamis, but it helps keeps the water level and pressure down. So, we wouldn't have to worry about that as a society. Ruin 12, not surprised at all. Yeah, I'm not surprised at that at all myself. I always thought that they did take the old pieces and broke it down to parts. Well, took the old trains and broke it down to its parts, and then it was some parts of the train. I always thought they always contributed to like the train exhibit, because they have the train exhibits, and from each era, things of that nature, from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and so on and so forth. So I always thought that was always being contributed, but a major part would be its parts, right? It's like, all right, we're not using this train anymore. Let's strip it down to its parts and melt the rest down. Like, I always thought it was done that way for the most part. But to hear this, and the reason being, I'm not surprised. And it does make sense. It does make sense. It's an economical need, and it helps to the ecosystem. So it helps with two different needs. Ash, did you know that the government is a ship too old or too expensive to bring, too old or too expensive to bring to the land than just to sink it in the middle of the ocean? I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. Shout out to CC. Shout out to Ruin 12. The fish definitely using them to get from Manhattan to Brooklyn and vice versa. That's funny. That's funny. But again, I'm not surprised at that, because again, it helps with two needs. It helps with two needs. I wouldn't be surprised at half the stuff we will find in the Atlantic. I'm And it's some things we never saw again, right? And that's just not in people, but also in technology. Old tech, I would not be surprised if we seen half of our old tech at the bottom of the Atlantic, like the Bay Harbor Butcher. You know what I'm saying? And for all my Dexter fans out there, y'all know who the Bay Harbor Butcher is. You know what I'm saying? Got more tech than the Bay Harbor Butcher. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be surprised regarding that at all. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Uh, question. Some of y'all might be mad at this, but I gotta ask the question, man. We here to chop it up. Do y'all credit reality TV to or for the phrase culture fatigue? Again, do y'all credit reality TV for the phrase culture fatigue? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. And for those who don't know, I substitute the word black for culture. I can't stand the word black because that's not what we are. We're not 3/5 of a people or individuals. I don't subscribe to what they give us. They gave us Negro. They gave us colored. They gave us African American. They gave us black. That's not what we are. We are the foundational people. So there's no way we could be subscribed to that. We are cultured individuals. So that's why I use culture instead of black. If you know, you know. Don't even know what that means. So the phrase culture fatigue is basically everything what people would think epitomize our culture that's negative, right? Like not being traditional, showing art. So a better version of fatigue, Love and Hip Hop, The Baddies, shows like that, reality TV shows like that. Do y'all believe that reality TV is the credit for that phrase, culture fatigue? So basically, it shows like that, showing that type of behavior, that type of loud speaking, when that's not even our culture. That's not our culture. That is subculture. And that's not how all of us operate in the culture. So that's what that means. Shout out to my dog fam in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. One of them big bad holders in the building. My dog fam in the building. What's goody? Appreciate you for tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. You already know it helps with the growth of the show. There's no, no, there is not. Hold on. Okay, now I can see it better. No, there is not much reality about it. That's a fact. The original Cowboys, even though it's called reality, a lot of it is script. Yes, it is. Believe it or not, y'all, a lot of that is script. They put people into situations and they say, yo, we heard this and that and the third. They heard this, that, and the third. Y'all get a chance to talk about it. They liquor people up on top of that. So the inhibitions is all out the window. And people, they just go for it. And it has to be entertaining in their eyes, because they think that's what keeps people. But it comes at a cost. Shout out to Yellow. I call it Ratchet TV. I hate it. My little facts. It has reality in the name, automatically scripted. Rowan 12, Love. I missed a couple of those. Exactly, Ash. For sure, it's a loss. I got that one. Not surprised at all. Don't even know. Okay, so I got that one. Agree with it. Yeah. So at the end of the day, do I credit it for culture fatigue? They are contributing coach. They are contributing credit. The main credit, though, the biggest credit, I'm gonna say no. I think is more so the algorithm. Because on any platform, whether social media based, performance based, there's a lot of positivity and there's also some negative stuff. They like to say that they base our algorithm on the videos that we like to watch based on how long we watch that video. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Because if algorithms can be altered based on people paying for their views or whatever the case may be, then that's not algorithm based. So if I'm on my algorithm, if I ain't gonna lie, like on my YouTube, like some of my algorithms, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I like to watch the guys in the jungle that build houses, or like their version of a house with like a couple sticks and a hammer, right? A makeshift hammer with mud and water, and they build like a palace. You know what I'm saying? And they have like their own color. I like watching those videos because it's astounding to me that they take these sticks and tree branches and they hook up a whole crib. You know what I'm saying? All mudded out. So my YouTube is a lot like that. But if I'm watching that and then out of nowhere y'all put up a cooking video, or all of a sudden I'm starting to get cooking. I watched nothing with cooking in it. Why am I seeing cooking? I don't want to watch cooking. I want to watch, the people build the damn houses made out of mud. Look like a good time. After they done built the crib, you get to slide down into the pool and all that. You know what I'm saying? Made out of mud. You know what I mean? Have a good time. So even the algorithm can be altered. So if these things can be altered, and we're talking about culture fatigue, and we have these things in our culture that is negative, and if you see their views, they get all the views when it's negative. But when you have somebody talking about their niece or their nephew that had a 4.0 GPA, they're about to graduate, and they got a picture of them, or they show them walking down the aisle getting their props as far as their education, and ain't a whole lot of views on that. Ain't a whole lot of views on that. So the algorithm, the people that make the algorithm in themselves that's based on the social platform that's being ran, they set the algorithm. They trying to keep people on there. Why do you think YouTube, better yet, why do you think Instagram, Facebook, any of these platforms have everything else a part of it? Snapchat has everything. Videos, pictures, except for posting, right? You go to Instagram, it has posts, pictures, videos. You can see nakedness on Twitter or X. On Instagram, you get damn near nakedness. I mean, it's almost damn near like Pornhub on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so they doing that to keep people on there. Same thing with TikTok. TikTok, you get everything but a post, but you kind of do post because you post in comments. And people go back and forth in the comments. So, I mean, at the end of the day, the algorithm is not really being set on us or our taste. It's being set by whoever is placing the algorithm in that region or for the world. So that fatigue, that culture fatigue that they saying, it's a part of the algorithm for people to get tired of seeing this negative imagery of us. You don't think we get tired of seeing negative imagery of us? Why do you think most people who are from the culture don't even like watch the slave movies? Like, what's a really good movie? It's entertaining, but I hate it. But it's a good movie because it's entertaining. But I hate the movie. Rosewood, great acting. The stuff going on in there is crazy. Obviously, it's not even, it's slavery for real, but it's really about what happens after somebody lies. And it's like, so at the end of the day, entertaining, Good movie, terrible movie. It's like it's a good movie, but it's a terrible watch because of what's going on and what happens in the social space. A part of what we watch. And it's not just one experience. So the algorithm don't shine light on the positive. If you got somebody in the studio working on some new music, that may have some views, but it won't go crazy. But if you have somebody in the studio working on some music, but they happen to slap somebody, oh yeah, that's gonna go crazy. Oh, that's gonna go viral. Come on. So is reality TV the mainstay? No. It's without a doubt social media to me. Would I credit them completely? No, but they deserve some credit. Reality TV does deserve some credit because it sustains those stereotypes. So I will say that. I would definitely say that. Shout out to my dog Vic in the building, one of our big bad holders and day ones. I got, I got self-exhaustion. Uh, Same in my culture. 21 Slave is a good movie. Yeah, it's one. 21 Slave is one of them good movie but terrible movie. Y'all get what I'm saying when I say that? Good movie but terrible movie. That's what I think of Rosewood. It's a good movie but terrible movie. It's a good movie in the sense of a movie. It's entertaining. It's impactful. It's educational. But I hate watching it. If that makes sense, it's like because of what happens in the movie. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I even 21 a slave. 21 is a slave, or 21 slave. 21's a slave, right? Or 21 to slave, or 12. Is it 12 to slave? I think it's 12 to slave. So 21 to slave, but I think it's 12 to slave. But again, good movie, terrible movie, entertaining, but the things that happen is like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like honestly, the only slavery based movie I enjoy watching. I enjoy watching. They're entertaining, and I enjoy watching. I'll probably watch it about 10 times. It's Django, for sure. I don't even look at it as a slave movie. That's a superhero movie. That's how I look at Django. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Love it. Love Django. Django popping. For me personally, Django popping. Jokey joke, like Roots, Ashley. Me too. I get angry, so I try to go around it. Django 21 Slave. I was going to say Django. As Stephen Me. Yeah, I think I told y'all about another slave movie recently, and it's called Future Brother. That is a must watch. Very hard to watch. Entertaining, but their premise was completely different, and it was so good. It was so good. But again, our history is not based out of slavery. It's not. Same thing with the ratchet culture. That's not our culture. It's a subculture that's for everybody. But we're the face of it. Let's keep it a buck. We're the face of it. And I don't like that because it's a subculture that is for everybody. If I watch, there was a show, it was called Teen Mom, where it seemed like everybody on the show was young white girls, teenage girls, who was too young to be having kids, and they had their whole situation with their boyfriend. He didn't want to work, or he didn't make too much. Like, that's not something I want to see neither. But that's why I say it's a subculture. The ratchet is just not us. We got ratchet in every damn culture, whether you are cultured or whether you're white. It's in every culture. It's a subgenre, but we're the face of it. So I just thought that was very interesting. My Chip and Dale name, DJ Sal T, Color Purple, Salt T. Yeah, I'm not gonna say the rest of that Vic C. Like I said, Color Purple. Color Purple's another one of those good but terrible movies. Good but terrible movies. Color Purple was good because how great, you know, Glover, Whoopi, and the supporting cast. You know, I forget the lady name that played. I know her name when I hear it. She played the mother on Homer Roscoe Jenkins, legendary actress. She played Suge. I forget her full name, but anyway, but great actor movie. Oprah Winfrey, great actress, great performances. Good but terrible movie. Good and terrible movie. Again, a story that was worth telling. A story that we only need to see one time. One time, we didn't need a remake. I remember, you know, they remade it like a couple years back. I didn't even go see that trash. We didn't need that. And Tyler Perry did it too. With all his resources, he got all those actors. That's basically like the damn Marvel of acting. And you revise Color Purple? Bro, we didn't need that, dude. Nah. Nah, he could have did something way flyer than that. He could have did his version of Ocean 11. You know, just something way flyer than that. Something we've never seen before. You give us another Color Purple like we needed it. And he made it into, I heard it was a musical. I'm not sure. I didn't watch it. I'm at that age. I see it. Yeah, nah. I don't need to taste it to know it's shit. When's the last time y'all ate shit? Y'all don't, right? Y'all never tasted it before, right? You can see it. Shitty. So I'm at that age. If I see a movie like that, I'm cool. And that was the disappointing part about Tyler Perry, because Tyler Perry has a history of paying great actors top level money, the money that they have earned and deserve. Kudos to that. But the product of these movies be ass. It be ass. Tyler Perry got too many resources to do that bullshit. Now that I think about it, and I don't want to disrespect Tyler Perry because he is needed to the culture. He is needed to the culture, believe it or not. He's needed to the culture. He's done a lot of great for people in their personal life, financially, and he's done great business. He's needed into the culture. But you gotta step up your movie game. Gotta step up your movie game. What's the purpose of having these great, outstanding actors you've always wanted to work with, and produce the reprisal of Color Purple? I haven't seen like the last like 8 Tyler Perry movies. There's a couple of Tyler Perry movies that are absolute flawless to me. A Family That Prays, fire. Fire. That's a legit fire movie. Outside of the BET wig that Tyler Perry has on in that movie, fire movie. Fire movie. The wigs is terrible in that movie, but a fire movie. A 9 out of 8 of that movie. Fire movie. So he got a couple good ones. Daddy's Little Girl. That's a solid 7 out of 10. Solid 7 out of 10. Solid 7 out of 10. A decent watch. A decent watch. A decent watch. For Color Girls, hated it. Good movie, but hated it. Not gonna lie. So, but yeah. So again, I'm not gonna credit reality TV alone for culture fatigue. I'm gonna credit mainly social media, because we put it as the culture instead of the subgenre, because it's for everybody. Shout out to the chat. Y'all been going in on the chat. I want to save the animals in the kingdom. If she's standing outside, she's outstanding. Pimpology. Yo, Vic, you stupid. I can't even watch a gazelle get killed. We absolutely didn't. Ashley, 100%. That movie, Macaulay and Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson did the Tyler Perry movie? He didn't do a Tyler Perry movie. Did he? Mississippi Burning. Mississippi Burning is another one of those good movies, terrible movies. I actually watched Mississippi Burning literally like 3 days ago. Literally. Good movie, terrible movie. It's a good movie because of the acting, but it's terrible because of what happened in the movie, right? It's like, yo, the scene where they get her, it's like it's a hard watch. Some of these movies are a hard watch, bro. Are hard watch. They're entertaining, they're good, but not good, if that makes sense. It's a hard watch. Big Pimps is the low. Big is the lowest persecution at the resistance. Yeah, at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, because I spoke about it earlier with the Grammys, that the Grammys is a breeding ground for pimps and hoes, right? We seen it in the 70s where they actually had awards for pimps and hoes. In the 80s. In the 90s, they just turned it into the Grammys. Look at what the women wear. Very risque outfits. You can see their full body and the whole nine. And the guys that are there are rich, or what we think is rich, whether it's real rich or fake rich. That's what the perceived perception is. Pimps and hoes. She paid for his lifestyle. Just saying. You know what's another good movie but terrible movie? I like watching it, but it's a hard watch. Why Do Fools Fall in Love? It's not a slavery movie, obviously, and people forget the stuff that was going on in that movie. That guy was no older than 25. So think of all the stuff that happened in that movie. He wasn't older than 25 when he passed away, which is crazy. Shout out to Malu, Right Ash, The Temptations, the Mac. Yeah, the Mac is wild. The Mac is wild. The Mac is wild. The reason why pimps is glorified in our neighborhood, especially in the 60s and 70s, and a little bit of the 80s, is mainly because the overall glamour of lifestyle. Dressing nice, having money, having women, having nice things. And in any subculture, whether it's the culture in itself, whether it's white culture, we all like nice things, especially at the expense of others. Are we all adults in this room? Can we accept the truth? We may not like it, like how I said about certain movies. I may not like it, but the truth is the truth. That's why pimps was revered. Now, believe it or not, y'all, do the history, because I did the research on this. Hoes were revered too. Yes. Yes. And it's so crazy, mentally and logically, do you know how dysfunctional we have to be as a society to look at hoes as something to be celebratory? In our society, in our culture, do you know how backwards and sick we have to be to think that? Guess what? We still sick. We still backwards. Because hoes back then you see some of them still around. Whether they're entertainment in your real everyday life, corporate job and office, knowing how to weaponize sex, knowing how to weaponize people against each other through beauty, that still happens today. It happens throughout history. If you watch the movie Troy, have you watched the movie Troy? Did you watch the movie Troy? 2 nations went to war over one woman that wasn't neither one of theirs. I'm just saying, I'm not saying this to brag. I've had my share. Ain't no woman make a brother want to go to war. Now, if she's my woman, I will go to war to protect her. It's 2 different things. If she's sharing my glory, then guess what? She's no longer my woman or under my protection. If you're trying to take my glory through force and she don't want you to, it won't be time to rap, I'll tell you that much. It won't be time to rap, I'll send you to Turkey. But y'all get the point that I'm making. Hoes always existed and hoes always been glorified. And it's still being glorified. Whether they call themselves hoes or not. Some may call themselves a businesswoman. Some may call themselves a businessman. Some may call themselves a singer, rapper, actor, producer, publisher, a doctor, lawyer. But they're still being revered. Look at the clothing. Don't tell me don't treat you as you are. If I wear a police uniform outside, what do you think people are going to treat me as? I'm just saying. Let's be real. We got adults in here. Let's be real about these conversations. Can we be real? Can we get a rap? Can the brothers get a rap? Shout out to Martin, because that's why I got the quote for the title of the show. Malo, me on the streets would be like Wyatt Earp and Rambo. I would eliminate that. That was funny. Shout out to Malo. That was funny, Malo. That was funny. Shout out to fam. Big facts. We have politicians that have a history of selling sex. That's a fact. It should never be possible to combine. But okay, it is what it is. That's a fact. Again, I'm cross-platforming on both platforms. Yes, Ashley, we keep it 100. We have to keep it 100. We have to. We have to call it what it is. We have to call it what it is. When you see an artist pull up to any event that's a public event that's supposed to be family friendly, has a dress on that's being held by her nipple rings, undies, and a see-through veil. Make sense? And I'm just saying that in general. I'm not saying that to anybody in particular. I'm saying that in general. Do that make sense? So, humiliation ritual is a very real thing. It's a very real thing. And why do we have humiliation rituals? Because the people who are able to go to the next level without being able to control their narrative and control their steps has to pay that way. The person that put them on, it's imperative that they pay this way. Hey, I bet you I got control over this artist. No, you don't. No, you don't. I bet you I do. How much you want to put on it? I bet you $1. Bet. I bet you $1 that I can make that artist do what I want them to do. Hey, you, wear a dress with half your ass hanging out. It's gonna be orange, and then wear one boob out. You could put a seashell on it, and then you could put a nipple ring on the other. Hey man, I got this artist to do what I want to do. Watch the Grammys tonight. Make sure you have my dollar. And y'all like $1? Yeah, $1. Have you ever seen the movie Trading Places? Where they bet $1 where they could destroy one man and build another man up? And then they bring it back up and Coming to America later on. But if you've never seen Trading Places, legendary movie. Fam, streetwalkers, streetwalk the biggest profession, and it's not going to stop no time soon. Fam, we should try though. The reason why, I feel what you're saying, Malu, but the reason why it's never going to stop, it's never going to stop, And the reason why, and I never say never about anything, but the reason why it's never going to stop is because we commercialize vanity. We celebrate vanity. So because people value vanity as their foundation, not something that they could add on and get rid of. That's a part of their foundation, is vanity. So if you could sell vanity, you could sell hopes and dreams. And because people move desperately, not necessarily out of finances, but in their mind, they don't have a strong enough mind. The power of finesse is at an all-time high. And now that we got technology on top of it, it would never be like, it would never not go anywhere. It will always be here. It will just be in a different form. 50 years from now, be a different form. 50 years ago, y'all watch Welcome to Dairy. Y'all watch Welcome to Dairy? And back in Welcome to Dairy, right? And it took place, what, in the 60s or the 50s? No, in the 60s, right? But then they went back to the 30s, right? They had holes in the 60s. Instead of at the Grammys, instead of at the Emmys, they had them at the circus. Y'all think I'm playing? You had girl clown hoes. You had male clown hoes. It's always going to be hoes. People always going to prioritize vanity. And vanity is not only prioritized, but it's valued over any and everything else. And because of that, people want to be seen. People want to be seen. People necessarily kind of don't necessarily want to be heard for real. They want to be seen. Why do you think when you watch most platforms and you see people say idiotic things, they know what they're saying is idiotic? You know that? That's a part of the psychology. That's a part of the psychology. You say something idiotic to get views because you know people are going to disagree. You know that. You go in there right now, say Patrick Mahomes is a white boy. That's a white boy. You're gonna have 1,000 people in your chat. Oh, yo, you don't know no better. His pops is a whole brother. This, that, and the third. You don't know sports. This, that. You don't know his history. Don't speak. It's all about the comments. It's all about what they said because they want to be seen. Not necessarily want to be heard, but they want to be seen. So because of that, you're always gonna have hoes, and you're going to always have pimps. TikTok is the pimp. And people that's trying to get negative publicity just to get it, those are the hoes. So that's why we will always have that. It's just being a different form. Yes, Ashley, we keep it. Yeah, yo, so I got that. Ashley, that's just insane, 100%. Fam, we should try. So I got that one too. Yeah, we got that one too. Man, y'all been absolutely amazing rocking out tonight. Again, I apologize for last night's show. Again, I had a family emergency that was unforeseen. And, luckily it ended up the way it ended up, but it wasn't a ideal situation. I'll say that, to say the least. So we had to do last night's episode. Nope. We had to do last night episode tonight. So I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Y'all been absolutely amazing. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. This is the Can of Brothers Get a Rap podcast, episode 234. Make sure y'all hit them likes, hit the 100s on y'all way out. It helps majorly with the show. If you haven't sustained your subscription or your membership, get both. Take advantage of that membership and make sure y'all subscribe, like, share that, hit that share button. It helps with the growth of the show. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 12. And I ain't gonna front. I kind of like a little YouTube plaque in the back. You know what I'm saying? That would be kind of nice to look at for, accomplishment. But again, I want to thank y'all for showing major love and really supporting the show. Through y'all memberships, through your gifteds, it means the world to me that we continue to build. And I appreciate everybody that tune and tap in every Sunday, every every Wednesday. Again, every Sunday, every Wednesday at 10:30. Thank you for the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. Shout out to OUV Records. Be on the lookout for that new OUV Records app. It's still in development, but it's absolutely fire. A better listen, a better watch. And I can't wait for y'all to tap into it. You get music directly from the artists, because of Apple and Spotify. They don't do us right as artists. And, due to Kendrick and Drake and the whole lawsuits. Yeah. So again, make sure to be on the lookout for the new app as well. Remember, y'all, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. Do not try to stand out for being something or somebody negative. Have the ability to stand out for being positive. Lose that Willie Lynch mindset. Hate has a location. It's just not here. We celebrate life culture. Y'all already know, man. It's love. And I'm going to see y'all next time, this Wednesday at 10:30. I'm out.